Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Technical. This week what we're going to do is we're going to do some match breakdowns and try and analyze kind of the good and the bad of what happens during these matches, what mistakes are made, and what kind of improvements can I make. The reason we're going to be looking at this is hopefully what you can do is take some of the information I say about myself or the things we can analyze about me or other players that are playing me and kind of take it to your own matches and say, hey, when I'm watching a replay, I do the same thing. You know, after I land a focus attack, I don't fully capitalize on the damage I can pull out of that. And you can learn to just slowly improve your game one little piece at a time by figuring out all those little moments where you can capitalize and get a full advantage of your damage output and kind of the right move to pick. So we're going to be looking at some matches for that. And the other thing is, this week has actually been phenomenal for some big Street Fighter news. There's 3 awesome pieces of Street Fighter footage out there that I think everybody should watch, so I'm going to provide some links in the description. And the first one is a documentary from Mike Ross called Focus. Mike Ross is a guy that has a Street Fighter show that's actually far more popular than mine, and he's a phenomenal Street Fighter player. The documentary kind of follows him around from tournament to tournament, and it shows a little bit about all the heart that you have to put into this, because it's not really all that profitable in industry, and there's, you know, it's not, people aren't doing this for money, they're doing it for the love. So it's a great documentary. It's about an hour long. It's hosted on G4 TV, so make sure you check that out if you've got the time. Another one is a Daigo Umehara match that they analyze. For anybody who doesn't know, Daigo is the best, hands down, Street Fighter player in the world. He wins all the big tournaments, and he plays phenomenally every time. He's very intelligent, and he makes some great calls. So they take about a 2-minute match and they break it down for about an hour. It's a really interesting watch, and so I suggest it to everybody. And he explains every little piece of what he does, you know, why he uses this attack then, why would he focus attack, why would he backdash here, you know, why would these decisions be made. The other thing that's really important and is happening right now this weekend, I'm really excited, the finals are coming up really soon, is EVO 2011. EVO, for those who don't know, is the biggest tournament in the world for fighting games. It's, you know, all sorts of fighting games, and the Street Fighter finals are coming on. So if you haven't, by the time this video comes out, they've probably already happened, so they should be archived somewhere, and I'll try to provide a link for that. If I can't, make sure you just go and Google it yourself and try and find some of the EVO matches, because it's the best players you're going to find, and they're going to do a phenomenal job, so it's going to be a great watch. But in the meantime, let's watch some Beyond Technical matches, and hopefully we can learn a few things and kind of improve our own game. Alright, so for our first match today, we've got a Balrog versus Dudley, and this is an interesting matchup because both characters are kind of straight up boxing types. So what you're going to see here is a little bit of a one-sided matchup for my sake. The best thing about what you're seeing right now is that, first off, I'm confirming into my combos, but mainly you see this lower crouching heavy kick punch, basically, which comes out, and I'm using that as a max range poke. It's really punishing Dudley. He's getting caught with it over and over, and at maximum range, it's really rough for most characters to deal with that, not just Dudley. The other thing I'm doing is I'm using that headbutt pressure to keep him in the corner. Once you get someone pushed into this corner, it's really important to kind of keep that pressure on, and you can tell at the end there, he panics, has very little chance of winning the round, so he just kind of throws out an ultra hoping for the best. I play it smart, stick back, and I just keep that pressure on, pushing him there. After that, you see on Balrog a lot, you want to use these EX punches. Basically, you have to try and guess when they're going to punch and when you can go in. One of the big mistakes I just made there is I landed the uppercut, and then I dropped the follow-up combo. From Balrog's EX uppercut, if you land it, you can actually do a crouching light punch, crouching light kick, and then follow that into a headbutt. So once again, you can see that Dudley has been pushed in the exact same situation he was last time. He's pushed back in the corner, and he's just getting hammered for it. Now, I'm getting a little bit too confident here, and I just let him walk straight up, grab a throw. This kind of crouching grab he does pushes you up, and then Dudley combos the living crap out of me into a full kill. Something to keep in mind is that Dudley, when he swept my feet there, that was actually a meaty attack. Meaty attacks, there's a lot of times where you can't do much. What I was trying to do was an EX dash punch, but everything has some startup, so if they do a proper meaty, you're gonna get caught doing pretty much anything other than a block. So you just gotta really be careful of that. This Dudley's getting pressured once again. You can see the exact strategy I'm trying to use here, and the reason I picked this match is because I just push his ass in the corner and keep it there, and that's really the goal. He's managed to pull himself out, but once you get somebody in the corner, you just have so many options. You can just jump in on them, you can push them back in, you can just sit still. At some point in time, you're going to force them to come to you. And you can tell that Dudley, he just keeps trying to back up. He's not playing nearly aggressive enough, and when he does, I've got an answer for it. As Balrog, you have a lot of dash punches and things like that. Dudley needs to kind of trick you and do his little fallback and then rush in. So, a really important one in this one too, so watch those pokes. As Balrog, you have a great low poke, and I use it all the time, a little bit too often if anything, and I really pull through some excellent long-range pokes that win the match for me. Alright, for this next match, we've got a little bit of a change in pace. Instead of absolutely dominating the match and pushing my opponent into the corner, this opponent plays a little bit differently, and you'll see how I have to react in a very different way to actually deal with this. Basically, spoiler alert, Bison kicks the crap out of me, and I really drop the ball. But it's important as to why and how I drop the ball. So let's see how this one goes. You can see I'm using some dash punches to kind of, you know, make sure he respects that I can, you know, I've got that move, and try and keep him at bay. Bison is a really good character because he can pull a lot of jumps, and he has a lot of different ways to attack you, whereas Balrog has mostly one direction. He has some amazing pokes, but he only really dashes straight at you. His jumping game's not nearly as strong as Bison's with all his special moves. So I catch him in a couple nice combos, and he's really quick. He uses his forward dash really well there to grab a throw. And he pushes me in the corner, but he quickly gives up the corner, which actually I feel is a big mistake. Even Bison has some fantastic corner games. His standing heavy kick is phenomenal and should definitely be used to keep me there. So I try to keep him in the corner, but as I said, Bison's air game isn't too bad, and he uses a head stomp and kind of tricks me up there, and I react a little bit slowly, and he catches me with a kill. So for the second round, I felt him out a little bit, and I feel like, okay, I've got to play a little bit differently. So I try to kind of just mentally change up my strategy. I'm trying to be safe. He keeps doing a few unsafe moves, and I'm not punishing them properly, which is a huge downfall of mine. I should really be punishing those slide kicks a lot better. There I dropped a combo. We trade off, you know, a kick for a headbutt. I land that focus attack, but I wasn't sure if he was going to come in, so I did the dash back just to play safe, and he caught me. For the first time, Bison FADCs his kick, which I'm not sure why since I've missed every proper punish. I'm just swinging a little slow on a few things, and I've played Bison before, but I haven't technically punished Bison before. The real difference you should see with this round, though, is I'm just keeping him at a perfect range and dropping these pokes out, and I just keep catching him with this crouching heavy kick, which I was talking about last match. It's very, very potent to play Balrog at a proper range, and each character has a different way to play this, or a different play style you're going to need to get used to. But Balrog is very good to just play at maximum poke range because not many characters can compete with him, and a crouching character is really tough to fight, so he's got some great moves for that. Bison kind of learns really quickly that the air is his territory. I'm not landing my uppercuts as well as I could be, and he keeps using the little bit of range he can to try and fight my pokes. My poke is great, but Bison's slide kick is an easy way to punish it if I'm just throwing it out there randomly. So, as I said, what you're seeing is I switched my strategy up and did amazingly well in the second round, whereas this Bison does nothing but jump now. He's kind of completely exploited my weakness. He stands right outside my poke range and slides in multiple times, and he just constantly jumps. He's always in the air, and he's learned not to fight me on my own turf, and he keeps catching me with these different shots. And at the very end there, I get the headbutt, and then I drop the combo, and you see me jump back, which is actually my attempt to hammer out my ultra. So I don't pull that off, and Bison kind of wins it 2-0 or 2-1 and takes that match. Alright, for our final round here, we've got Balrog versus Ryu. Now pay special attention to this match because I threw it in here specifically for the new players. Something I want to show is how to adapt to your opponent. You really need to make sure you watch what they do, and if you're losing, you need to change up your strategy very quickly to try and to keep up with this. So what this Ryu starts off doing is very kind of standard classical. Actually, he plays quite well in this first round. He lands all his combos. He does opening pokes. Those low kicks, especially, watch for those. He uses those to open me up, and then he can combo into the hurricane kick there. So he kept using that. He kept poking me open, and I got caught by pretty much everything. But I learned a little bit of something about how he plays, how he's going to use those pokes. He uses a very, very kind of flowchart Ryu. He pokes me open, uses Hadouken range, focus attacks, trying to catch my dash punches, and his game's pretty solid when he's on the offensive. However, he's not so good on the defensive. I catch him with a couple jumping overheads here, He's not guarding his low as well, so I use my crouching fierce kick there to land everything I can. I'll push him into a stun. Now, that's one of the problems with me, is when I get him in the stun, I only do the dash punch. In all honesty, I'll tell you, I don't know the best punish for Balrog, or I'm not good enough at doing it. So, it's something I really need to practice on, and it's really important when you're watching your matches to pick moments like that and go, hey, you know what, right there, I should have done a much better combo, or I should have hurt him a lot more, or done something specific. So, try to pick those moments, and then go back and take that time to go learn. So, the Ryu has a lot of trouble adapting to me now. Now that I've pushed him on my second game, and I've kind of figured out that he's going to use a lot of Hadoukens, he's going to use that poke kick for everything. So I just kind of sit down, and you see me hold back a little more, stay crouched and trying to protect myself. I know at range he's going to shoot the Hadouken, and Balrog can punish those with a dash punch. Full screen dash punches are generally bad, but if you use it properly or react, it's a good way to push your way in. The biggest thing that Ryu is not focusing on, so from his perspective, is I am jumping in and overhead punching him over and over and over, and he's just not getting it. So he's got to watch for those low pokes and that jumping overhead, because that's really what I punish him with, and that's really how I win this one. So I hope a little bit of a technical analysis of a few matches is a nice refresher. I'm going to keep doing the show in a few different ways. So keep your eyes peeled. Thank you for watching Beyond Technical, and thank you for all the feedback, the great comments. I really appreciate hearing from you guys. It makes all of this a lot more worthwhile. So keep watching, keep letting me know what you think. Keep asking questions is a big one. Most of these episodes are, I'm fielding at least one question from the fans. So I really appreciate you guys helping out, and thanks for everything. So hope you guys keep enjoying it, and stay tuned next